Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Alief's AISD Stadium, which is Crump Stadium. The lights are shining bright here in Southwest Houston as two rivals are set to collide under the Friday night lights. It's the Elsik Rams squaring off against the Alief Taylor Lions, a classic neighborhood battle with pride, bragging rights, and momentum all on the line tonight. Coming up in this matchup, the Rams sit at 2-7, while the Lions stand at 3-6. But throw those records out of the window because when these two meet, it's always a fight to the finish. Last year, Elsik edged Taylor in a thriller, 30-17, and you can bet the Lions haven't forgotten that one. And I broadcasted that one game, that incredible game last year when I was with NFHS. So for Elsik, the key tonight is consistency. Their offense has shown flashes of brilliance, putting up big numbers when they're in rhythm, but they gone to tighten up defensively after giving up over 50 points to Fulshire. They know if they can protect the football and execute on third down, they've got a real shot to control this game. On the other side, Alief Taylor wants to flip the script. The Lions have had strong individual performances, especially in the backfield. One of their running backs went off for nearly 200 yards a few weeks ago. If they can establish that same ground game early and limit turnovers, they can take command and ride that momentum to a win. Expect a physical game. Both teams love to hit. Both want to prove who owns this district, and both are hungry for a statement win heading into the final stretch of the season. The matchup to watch: Elsik's offense versus Taylor's stout defensive front. Can the Rams protect their quarterback and sustain drives, or will the Lions pass rush make life difficult? Big plays, turnovers, and special teams could decide. Prediction-wise, it's going to be tight. Elsik 24, Taylor 17. But don't be surprised if we get another game that comes down to the final possession just like last year. The bands are rocking, the student sections are loud, and both sidelines are fired up. Folks, this is Alief football. Pride, emotion, and community all wrapped up in 4 quarters of Texas high school action. Buckle up, the Rams and the Lions are ready to go, and kickoff is just moments away here on Vype Media. All right, so kicking off, the return man for Alief Taylor is Nicholas Johnson, who's a junior for this stout varsity team of this Taylor High School squad. The kicker for Elsik, Jonathan Molina, will be the one that will kick the ball off for the setup defensively for this Elsik Rams. And off we go. And it will be side off out of bounds. There's a flag on the field. And we got a couple of pushes between both teams. So it's a really heated rivalry between them and Alief Taylor. And so Taylor will be in offense first. The quarterback leading this offense for Taylor, Nick Congolo, will be the one that will lead this offense. as the starting QB for this stout offense. So there's a kickoff interference call that will give a 5-yard gain for Taylor. And the first carry of the game, number 6, Hamir Sukuni will be the ball carrier for this Taylor Lion offense. So he got a couple of yards on that play, about a 5-yard gain. So 2nd and 5. He'll give it to Hamir again. He got multiple yards on that play. He eludes multiple defenders, and it should be enough for the first down. And so he is short from the first down conversion. So it'll be a 3rd and 1 situation for this Lions offense. And it should be a free play. And it'll be a completed pass to, who is it, Nicholas Johnson. Congolo completed a pass to Nicholas Johnson, and he's leaping after that reception play. And so this Rams defense jumped off sides. So Taylor will get a 5-yard gain after that penalty. And so that'll be enough for the first down conversion. So Congolo will hand it off to Hamir, and he'll be taken down by number 23 for this Elsik defense, Maurice Smith, with the tackle. A 1-yard tackle for loss made by Maurice Smith for this Rams defense. And so it will be a 2nd and 11. Ball on the 43-yard line. And so they're in this double formation. And a completed pass to number 9 for this Taylor offense. Michael Fenaye with that completed pass. And so that'll be another first down conversion. A great check down by Congolo. And so he'll give it to Hamir Sokola. And he will take it in for the touchdown. An easy touchdown by Hamir Sokola. A multiple-yard rushing touchdown to make it their first score of this Friday night showdown between Friday night rivalry game. And so Taylor will complete the extra point play, and so it'll be a 7-0 game. Taylor will be leading with this first touchdown and extra field goal, and so that will be a really great start by this Taylor offense. And so we'll be right back. This is Vype Live, Vype Live, and we'll be back. And we are back. And so the return man for the Rams, who's at number 10, Christopher Dismuke, with multiple yards on that return. And so that's pretty good position for the Rams after Dismuke's multiple yard gain on that return. And so it will be a first and 10 situation for this Rams offense. Caden Mendenhall, who has been their star quarterback since his junior year, ever since I covered him when I was with NFHS, now with Vype Live. And so there's a new quarterback. So Christopher Dismuke got multiple yards on that wild card play, on that pistol formation that the Rams used. And so they got multiple yards on that carry, and it's more than enough for the first down conversion. So it'll be first and 10 for this Rams offense. Hopefully this Taylor defense can shut down this offense and force a 3 and out. First and 10, Rams. And another wild card look. And number 88, Ontario Washington, will be shoved out of bounds. But what a play call by this Elsik Rams team. The defense was completely confused on that play call. And Ontario Washington got multiple yards on that wild card play formation. And so they're right close to the red zone. A first and 10 situation for this Rams offense. A really bad start for this Taylor Rams defense. And Washington will give multiple yards on that carry, but he'll be taken down by number 11 for this Taylor defense. James Porter with the tackle. And so it'll be a 2nd and 1 situation. They could convert another first down conversion. So it seems like they're in their 11 personnel look. And he'll be taken down by pretty much the entire defensive front for this Lions defense. And I've talked about how dominant they were in this pregame. And so far, in this play, they've shown how dominant they could be by stopping them only for a yard gain. And so it'll be a 2nd and 3rd and 2 situation for this Rams. And a jet sweep call by this Rams offense. Number 15 for... So number 15 for this Rams offense, got a couple of yards on that play, but it's not more than enough for the first down conversion. So they're in the red zone. And so Ontario Washington will and he'll seep through a defender and make it in all the way to the goal line to make it their first score of the game. And they have a chance to tie the game with an extra field goal. But what a play by Ontario Washington, zipping through that defender and making it in for the goal line. And so Molina will attempt an extra field goal attempt, and he will make it in for the extra point play. And so now it's a tie game between this heated rivalry. Expect this to be a shootout. And that's pretty much my prediction, a shootout for this rivalry. And so we'll go on a quick little break. This is Vype Live. And we are back to this broadcast between the Elsik Rams and the Alief Taylor Lions. So it seems that for Elsik, their star quarterback, Caden Mendenhall, is out due to either a coach decision or an injury. And so Molina will kick it off. He'll give it to Evan Simon. No, excuse me. Nicholas Johnson will be the return man for the Lions. And he got multiple yards on that carry. That return, excuse me. And so the Lions pretty much have a pretty good field position to damage against this Rams defense. And so hopefully they can continue to stick with what they're good at and extend the lead from here on there. So Kongolo will give it to Shokunle, and he got multiple yards on that carry, but he's taken down by number 20 for the Rams. Who's it? Yep, number 20 for this Rams defense. And so Kunle will complete the first down conversion for this Lions offense. So Kongolo will motion his receiver, and he'll be quarterback keeper. And he will almost intercepted by a Rams defender, but there's a flag on the field. So it should be a flag on the play. It might be a holding penalty by this Lions offense. And so let's see what it could be. Oh, a pass interference call by a cornerback for the Rams. And so the Rams the Lions should be really happy that they didn't pick the ball off. Because now they get a pass interference call. And it will be number 9 who will be the intended receiver, and he will get it in for the touchdown. Number 9 for the the Lions. Michael Vinay will make will score a reception touchdown of multiple yards, and that will extend the lead by 13 and potentially a touchdown lead if they complete the extra point play. So far, this Lions offense has been dominant against this Rams, and for the Rams, they just couldn't do anything to stop the carnage against this. Stop the carnage. So now it's a touchdown lead between the Lions and the Rams. And so we'll go on a quick little break. You are watching Vype Live against this heated rivalry. So we will be back. Alright, so we're back on the broadcast. And so this Mook will be the return man for this Rams. And he'll be taken down by multiple defenders. And so for heated rivalries, the best thing about heated rivalries is that the record goes out the window, and it usually goes to who is the most ready between both teams. If we look at Texas A&M versus Texas, the record goes out the window, and it pretty much goes to show you who is the most ready between both teams. Who wanted it more for both teams? That's a better way I can phrase it. And so Washington will get pressure by multiple Lion defenders, but there's a flag on the field. Let's see what it is. So that's a intentional grounding by Washington. And so that should be a 5-yard penalty on the offense. And so the refs are still discussing whether to confirm the penalty. Yeah, so it is confirmed that it's intentional grounding. And so an electric senior night for this Elsik Rams. Expect the seniors for the Rams will expect the seniors for this Ram squad to go all out in their potentially their final game of their football career, as they go on to greener pastures. And so it's 2nd and 27 for the Lions. A really slow start for them, by the way, in this drive. And Washington should get away from the safety, and the ball is out. And Taylor will get the ball back on this dominant defensive possession. Like, what a play by this defense. And now they're almost in the red zone. and potentially extend the lead by 2 touchdowns. And now, so it's a first intense situation for the Lions. So Congo will lead this offense. And so they're in this doubles formation. Congolo will look to his receiver and is caught by, who is it? Number 12 for the Lions, Jaden Barber with the reception. He got more than enough for the first down conversion. So now it's first and goal, literally at the red zone for the Lions, and potentially make it a 2-score game. So Congolo will snap. He'll give it to Sekonle, and he'll make it in for another touchdown. Let's see if the refs confirm it. And so there, he is short from the goal line, and so it'll be a second and goal. And so they're in the goal line. They're doing goal line formation. Quarterback's Meek. And it should be a false start against this offense. You can't have that, especially in the goal line. You can't afford to have false starts in between you where you're about to score. So now it's still second and goal line for the Lions. Gongolo. And Shakunle will make it in for the touchdown. Yep, touchdown for the Lions. Shakunle with his second rushing touchdown. He's right now been the player of the game. And so now is now 20-7 and potentially 21, a 2-score game if they complete the extra field goal. And the extra field goal is no good. But even then, the Lions are in a very great position in this heated rivalry. They are now up by 13 points against their rival. And so we'll take a short break. You are watching Vype Live. And we are back on this broadcast. A large crowd you can see over here. You know, all these fans are supporting all the seniors for this Rams. And so kickoff. And Dismuck will be the return man. And he got multiple yards in that carry. He'll be taken down by number 17 for the Lions. Who is this? This is a receiver, Kwame Oleni. Kwame Oleni will be the tackler on this kickoff. And so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Rams. So the ball's on the 31-yard line. They are in pretty decent position. And so they're looking to use more to that wild card formation. Almost a false start. And Dismuke will get multiple yards on that carry. And the tackler against to Dismuke, number 20 for the Lions, Savion Powell will be the tackler to Dismuke. But even then, the Rams will convert another first down conversion in this quarter. And so it'll be a penalty, a false start by the Rams. All these mental mistakes are killing the Rams offensively. And so hopefully they can clean this up going to the second quarter. So now it's 1st and 15 for the Rams. And a great play by both defenders, number 55 for the Lions. Zenlibimi Fagbamilia, along with Savion Powell, will be the tacklers against Christopher Dismuke. And so it'll be a 2nd and 14 for the Rams. And so Washington will be the quarterback keeper and got multiple yards on that run. And so he should be in for another first down conversion. And so it looks like he's short from it looks like he's short from the first down conversion. So it's 3rd and 3 for the Rams. And Dismuke almost fumbled the ball, but you get the ball back. A really slow start on this offensive possession for the Alief Elsik Rams, and so it'll be a 3 and out, the first 3 and out of the game for the Rams. And so the punter it'll be Lamar Martinez who will be the punter, and a great punt by Martinez, and they'll be placed on almost at the 1 yard line. Excuse me, the 99 yard line, or 98. Yep, I was almost right. They'll be placed on the 2 yard line for the Rams. Excuse me, the Lions. It is really special if senior night, potentially your last football game, will be against your rival, and that couldn't be more special than this. And so 1st and 10 for the Lions. And so Hamir Shokunle will make another multiple yard gain on that run. He has so far been the player of the game for this Lions offense, potentially this whole Lions roster. And so the Lions will let the clock run. And so that's the end of the first quarter. So the Lions are up by 13. They scored 20 points throughout, unanswered points throughout the first quarter. Meanwhile, the Rams have scored their touchdown, but ever since then they have been extremely lackluster offensively. And so we will be back on our quick break. This is Vype Live. Welcome back to Vype Live between the Rams versus the Elsik Rams. Excuse me, the Taylor Lions. They're not going. Both teams are not going up against each other unless it's practice. And by the way, this is your play-by-play announcer for the game, Matthew Okama. I thank Suna Venkat and Meryl Bertrand with the opportunity to work for Vype. And my cameraman right here, Ryan, will be the honorary cameraman for this broadcast. And we're really excited to do this broadcast between this heated rivalry between both neighborhood schools. And so now it'll be a 2nd and 4 situation for the Lions. The ball will be on the 8-yard line. And so the Rams are they're celebrating their 50-year anniversary as for this school. A great inauguration for the 50-year American tradition. By the Elsik Rams. And so this is the beginning of the second quarter. You know, so far, throughout the first quarter, the Lions has been extremely dominant on both sides of the ball. They begin stops on defense after that poor execution in the in their first possession of the game. But since then, they have tightened up defensively and then offensively. Like they have been dominant, especially by their running back Hamir Sekunle. He has almost over 100 yards throughout this game so far, and has 2 rushing touchdowns. And with that sample size, could make you a D1 athlete. And so Kunle will get multiple yards on that carry. He will be taken down by multiple Rams defenders. And so it'll be a 3rd and 4 situation for the Lions. And so you expect to have more play action. And an almost interception by a Rams defensive back. Pass deflected by number 19 for the Rams. Colgan Tyler with the pass deflection. And that play will actually force a 3-and-out for the first time for this Lions offense. And so the punter for this Lions will be number 28, Eduardo Galando will be the punter for. And it'll be a muff ball. Number 2 for the Rams, a punt returner. Courtney Thompson will be taken down aggressively by number 17, Kuam Olenyi. And there's a flag on the field. And it might be multiple guys between both teams having a little scuffle. I mean, by the way, it's a really heated rivalry game between both neighboring schools. They call it the Squat 2025. It's the same thing that happened when I covered them last year. Especially when Caden Mittenhall light up the Taylor defense. And so they will approve this penalty. It will be so the Rams are in really good field position to extend their lead. To cut the lead deficit. And so Washington will be the man up front. And he'll throw a dagger to number 20 for this Rams. A really accurate dot by Ontario Washington, who is a junior for the Rams. And if he continues to play like this, then he can definitely be a really good player for this Rams offense, especially going into his senior year. Oh man, so there's a holding penalty by the offensive line for the Rams. And so that play will be declined, and they will have to repeat, but 10 yards away. These penalties have been killing this Rams team. And their lack of discipline is what keeping them from actually taking the lead over their rival. And so it'll be a 1st and 20 situation for the Rams. And he'll give it to number 20, and he will evade the defender. But the defender will later take him down. Who's at number 4 for the Lions? Danilo Pinso will be the tackler for the Lions. And so it'll be a 2nd and 16 for the Rams. Snap. And he'll give it to number 20 again. Another completion by Washington. And he'll be taken down by number 13. Chukwuma Nkanwo will be the tackler in this situation. And so they'll cut the yard deficit all the way to 6 yards away from the first down conversion. So it will be 3rd and 6. They are in this doubles situation. Doubles formation. And Washington will face pressure, and he will heave it up, and he will overthrow to his intended receiver, attended to Kayvon Knight. And so that will be another 3-and-out by the Rams. And so this Rams offense, they just could not get it going despite the multiple completions by Ontario Washington. Even then, these mental mistakes by this team has been really holding them back. And so number 22, Wilmar Martinez will kick the ball all the way out of bounds. And so that would give the Lions a really good field position to extend their lead. It is down a distance for this Lions team. Hopefully they can start using more of their passing offense. Hopefully, I can expect them to run a lot more, play actions. Throughout this possession. And so it's 1st and 10 for the Lions. Kongolo will have a long time snapping to his ball, to his carrier, and it might be a miscommunication by this offense. So it'll be a 2nd and 10 situation. There's a no gain. So it looks that they're the single formation, And Kongolo will face pressure and throw the ball away to make it a 3rd and 10 situation. Both offenses have been really slow throughout the second quarter. So hopefully they can break the mold by running a big play in this 3rd and 10 situation. Third and 10. And so it'll be the Lions' first timeout of the half. And so we'll take a quick break here in this heated rivalry. This is Vype Live. And we'll be back on the beat. And we are back in this heated rivalry broadcast. This is Matthew Okama, your play-by-play commentator, along with our cameraman, Ryan. And so Kolongo will heave it up, and he'll get it to his receiver. Who is this? Hamir Sukule with that amazing catch, especially getting his feet inside between the hash mark. And so it will be a big conversion by this Lions offense. And so they can now have to run up the momentum after this big play. And so they'll give it to Shakunle. And he'll dive over his defenders and got a couple yards on that carry. You can just tell from Hamir Shakunle, he's a heck of a athlete. He almost jumped over the defender for Elsik. And so it will be a 2nd and 2 situation for the Lions. And they'll give it to Sekunle again. And he'll be taken down by number 5 for the Rams. Cordell Flowers with the tackle. And so it should be. So the Lions will get another first down conversion. So there is about 6 minutes left of the second quarter. So Kolongo will give it to his ball carrier, Shakunle will get a couple of yards on that play by Shakunle. And so they're going really conservative throughout in the last couple of plays by this Lions offense. And the Rams have been getting stops against Shakunle. And so now it's a 3rd-and-1 situation. And it seems like the Lions are trying to run the clock down and wearing down this Rams defense. And so now it's a 3rd-and-1 situation. They're in this trips formation. H-back dive to Shokunle, and he'll make it to another first down conversion. So if the Lions were to score in this possession, now it will be a 28-7 game, which means it's becoming a little bit far reach for this Elsik Rams roster. And so Shukunle will get a couple yards in the carry. They're just continuing to run the clock down and wear down this Rams defensive front. And so now it's a 2nd-and-5 situation for the Lions. And it'll almost be a delay of game. And so it'll be Taylor's 2nd timeout of the half. And so far a really great game for this Lions team. Meanwhile, the Rams have been struggling offensively and defensively. And now it's looking like a really bad look, especially for the seniors for the Rams. Because some of them may be the last game that they'll ever play football. And so it'll be a 2nd-and-5 situation for the Lions. Gongolo will give it to Shukule, and he will make it in for the goal line. He will evade number 11 for the Rams. Jashir Colbert will be the odd man that Shukule did. And so Shukule will score his 3rd touchdown of the game. And it's not even the second half yet. And so now they will So now it's a 26-7 lead. And the kick is good for the Lions. And so now my mistake is now a 27-7 game in this heated rivalry. And it don't even look like a heated rivalry. It looks like the Lions have been the overall better team so far this first half. And so we'll take a quick break. This is Matthew Okama, your play-by-play announcer, your cameraman Ryan, and we'll be back on the break. This is Vype Live. Welcome back to the broadcast. This is Matthew Okama, your play-by-play announcer, your cameraman Ryan. And so the Rams will receive the ball in this kickoff. Dismuk will be the return man as usual. And so the Lions will kick the ball all the way to the goal line for a touchback. And so now the Rams featuring Ontario, Washington, it's been extremely slow after their touchdown earlier in the game. But so far, the Lions has been finding ways to shut down this offense. And so now it will be a 1st and 10 situation for this Rams offense. Ball on the 25-yard line. And so Washington will snap. And it should be a false start penalty by the Rams. They have been absolutely undisciplined with the penalties so far this game. And so now it's a 1st and 15 situation for the Rams. Washington will snap. He'll give it to Dismuk. And he'll be taken down by number 55 for the Taylor Lions. Olasumbi Fagbenilia will make his second tackle throughout this game. And so now it's a 2nd and 9 situation for the Rams. So this Rams, they will have to really score to make it almost a 2-score game, which is something. And it is looking like a fumble. And it's looking like it's a fumble, but many coaches believe that it's an incomplete pass. And so the referees are discussing whether or which is the right call. Oh, so now the play is stand. And so it will be the Lions ball. That is mesmerizing. Because it looks like they did not complete the pass, but somehow, some way, it's a fumble to them, and now it's Lions ball now. And it should be a pass interference call on number 8 for the Rams. Haven Living should be the And so it will be number 14 for the Rams will commit the penalty, and that will lead a that will give the Lions a 15-yard gain off of that penalty. They have been absolutely dominant. So far this game, the Lions have been overall the better offense. They have been the better defense. Meanwhile, the Rams, they have been struggling with turnovers. They have been struggling with penalties, most especially. So it should be an offsetting penalty. Oh, so the offense will commit a 15-yard penalty. And so there should be a referee standby. You start to see band setting up and preparing for their halftime show. And so they're almost at the 2-minute warning. Ngolo will give it to Shinkunle, and he will be taken down by multiple defenders. You see, the Rams are trying to get the ball back, rip the ball out of Shinkunle's hands. Because after all, they don't really have enough time for them to score. And so it'll be their first timeout of the game for the Rams. And so we'll take a quick break. This is Vype Live. And we'll be back. Welcome back to the broadcast. This is Matthew Okama, your play-by-play commentator throughout this heated story rivalry between the Alief Elsik Rams versus the Alief Taylor Lions. And so, correction, it was a 2-minute warning. The Rams did not call a timeout. And so it will be 2nd and 24 for the Lions. So Konogo will heave the ball in the air. It is a pass deflection. A great ball by number 16 for the Rams. And there's multiple flags on the play. And oh, wow. So, an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty along with holding. And that will be a major loss by this Lions offense. And so now they're doing all back to the 40 something yard line. And so now the ball, they're all the way from the 54 yard line. Yeah, second and 54 for the Lions. Like, my goodness, I don't know how you're going to convert this from all the way back. And Nick Congolo will have a multiple yards on that carry. And so it will be the last timeout for the Lions so far this first half. And so we will take a break from here. This is Vype Live. Welcome back to this broadcast. This is Matthew Okama, your play-by-play commentator in this heated rivalry between the Rams versus the Lions. And so now it's 3rd and 52. I don't know how they're going to convert this, but it seems they have to go for an all-out Hail Mary to even convert the first down from there. And Hamir Shukunle will get multiple yards on that carry. But still not enough for the first down conversion. So, and it's looking like the Rams will force a 3 and out. And so Elsik will take another timeout. Excuse me, their second timeout of the half, and so we will take a short little break. This is Vype Live. Welcome back to this broadcast between the Lions and the Rams. And so the Lions will pit punt. And a really hilarious situation. A sacked in the full moment by number 5 by the Rams. It seems like he didn't call a fair catch. And so he was a little bit of lack of awareness on number 5 for the Rams, who's this Cordell Flowers. But even then, the Rams have decent field position. So it'll be a 1st and 10 situation for the Rams. And so Washington will identify pressure, and he'll be taken down by number 4, Danilo Penso with the sack. Assisted by Anika Nawauzi. And so it will be an Elsik timeout. This is our last timeout of the half. And so the Rams. So the Lions definitely have been so dominant against this Rams offense. They've been trying. They were generating so much pressure. They were giving a lot of blitz looks, and so far that Rams offense has been extremely flustered by the multiple looks that this Lions defense has been giving for this Rams offense. And so it will be a 2nd and 8 situation for the Rams. Washington will identify pressure, and he will sit through, and he'll be taken down by Danilo Penso again. And there's about 30 seconds left of the second quarter. And so they'll have enough time to run one more play. And he'll get it to number 4 for the Rams. And so the coaches are out there looking for a penalty against the Lions. So it must be a penalty by... Yep, a holding penalty by this Rams offense. Yeah, these penalties have been killing this Rams roster. And so it would be a 3rd and 15 for the Rams. So Washington. And a great play by Danilo Penso. Oh my goodness. And he is showboating out here. A great way to end the first half for this Lions. Meanwhile, the Rams, they have been absolutely getting dominated on both offense and defense. And hopefully they can make large adjustments going into the second half. And so now it's 27-7 Lions, Rams, and for both teams you're heading to their locker rooms, and for the other school bands will go for their halftime show. And so we will stream the halftime show on our behalf. And so we'll take a short break in this broadcast, and from there we will stream the whole entire halftime band between both schools. And so this is your play-by-play commentator, Matthew Okama, along with your camera operator, and we'll be back. Welcome to the broadcast. This is Matthew Okama, your play-by-play commentator, your cameraman Ryan, and we are heading towards the second half of the game, specifically the third quarter. It's 27-7, Lions and Rams, and so far, the Lions have been the most dominant team, and they're looking to extend their lead. Meanwhile, the Rams are, even though they had a really slow start throughout a slow first half, might add, but hopefully they can try to fix all their issues through the adjustments they made in that locker room, and hopefully they can try to cut the deficit down throughout the second half and potentially make it a tie game to make it a really competitive game for the brevity of this heated rivalry. And so both teams are below 500. Specifically, the Rams are 2-7. Meanwhile, the Lions are 3-6. And unfortunately, neither of them are going to the playoffs. But they have something to look forward to going into their off season, as they kick the ball all the way to the goal line for a touchback. And so it'll be a first and 10 situation for the Rams. And so the ball will be placed on the, give it 1 second. Yep. It'll be placed on the 25-yard line. And so Washington will be leading this offense. And so it's looking like they're in a pistol formation. He'll motion number 20. And it'll be a quarterback keeper. And he got a couple of yards on that carry. Ontario Washington will get a short yard gain on this run. And so it'll be 2nd and 5 for this Rams offense. And so it'll be a trips formation. Looking like he's going to go for a pass. And he will heave it in the air. And oh my goodness! It is complete. What an amazing throw by Ontario Washington. Pass intended to number 4 for the Rams. Jaden Thompson with the catch. But my goodness, what an amazing throw by Ontario Washington. He will flip it to the air through two defenders, might I add, and gets to his receiver in Jaden Thompson for the multiple yard reception. And number 20 will see through multiple defenders. He will miss multiple defenders, and he'll be taken down by number 8 For the Lions, who is it? Benjamin Amoko with the tackle to number 20. But man, what a start by this Rams offense. And now they're in this position almost at the red zone and possibly cut the lead down to almost 2 scores. And oh my goodness, what a play! A tackle for loss by Christopher Ferreras. As you can see there, there's a little bit of showboating by this Lions defense, but what a play by Christopher Ferreras. A tackle for loss. And that will mess up the momentum for this Rams offense. So hopefully they can get it together in this 2nd and 15 situation. Ball will snap. Washington will identify pressure, and he will get it to the 10-yard line, and he will step out of bounds. And so he got multiple yards on that carry, and so it should be a first down conversion. But it may be, he is short on the first down conversion, so now it's 3rd and 1 for the Rams. If they can score in this possession, then man, it is going to be a really big moment for this Rams team throughout this game. And he will be taken down by multiple defenders. But it's still enough for the first down conversion. You see, the coaches are really frustrated that they did not get a lot more in that running game, in that running play, but still, you have to be grateful for the first down conversion. 1st and goal. Washington will face pressure, and he'll throw the ball away smartly. And so Ontario Washington will throw the ball away. And so there's an injury timeout. And we have an injury timeout, so we'll be back in a few minutes. This is Vype Live. Welcome back to the broadcast. This is Matthew Wakama, your play-by-play commentator between the Rams versus the Lions. And so the Rams are in field goal position, in the red zone, and there's a penalty, a 5-yard penalty on the offense, a false start. Once again, the offensive line has been extremely undisciplined in regards to not flinching a whole lot, which leads to them committing a ton of false start penalties. And so second and goal. And Washington will walk to the touchdown and makes it a 14-point game, and potentially a 13-point game if they complete the extra goal. But Ontario Washington, with his first touchdown of the game, the Rams' second touchdown so far this game. And it'll be a extra field goal good. And so now it's a 13-point game. Lions 27, Rams 14. We'll be back after a few in this little break we'll have. This is Vype Live. Welcome back to the broadcast. This is Matthew Wakama, your play-by-play commentator in this matchup. You are watching Vype Live on YouTube. And so now it's a 13-point game. The Rams have cut the deficit by 7 points. And so a really slow start for this Lions team, and hopefully they can try to extend their lead on offense, or the Rams can continue on their damage. And so, oh my goodness, Nicholas Johnson with an amazing return. And now the Lions are in really great field position for them to score in this situation, because now the ball is in the 44-yard line. And so it'll be a first and 10 situation for the Lions. So Nick Congolo will be leading this offense in this second half. He will give it to number 12 for the Lions. And he will be on the 20-yard line. He will be taken down by number 15 for the Rams. But number 12, Jaden Barber will will have a multiple yard after a catch play. After that check down by Congolo. And it must be a penalty, a holding penalty against this offense. And so the play will not count. So it'll be 1st and 10 for. And there is a false start on. Oh, so there's. So there is an offside penalty committed by this Rams defense, and so the Lions will get a 5-yard gain from this penalty. So it'll be 1st and 10, 1st and 8, excuse me. And there's another penalty on the field. Sukunle will get a couple of yards on that carry, but there is a penalty probably against this Rams team. Oh, a false start against this offense. Oh my goodness. Now, as we've seen from the Rams offense, they've been struggling with false start penalties. Now the Lions are returning their favor too. They're now committing false start penalties too. After all, they're neighborhood rivals. So they're pretty much have the same similar traits. So Kumle will get a short yard gain. A great tackle play by number 2 for the Rams. Courtney Thompson with the play against Hamir Shinkunle. And so it will be a 2nd and 11 situation for the Lions. So 2nd and 11 for the Lions. For the Rams, they're hoping to force a 3 and out. And they did not, as Congolo complete the pass to number 3 for the Lions, Nicholas Johnson with the reception. And that will complete a 1st down conversion. And so, offensively, the Rams has been capitalizing for this team, but defensively they have not returned their favor. They have not returned their favor. And so now with another 1st down conversion by this Rams against this Rams defense, and a great play by number 64 for the Rams. Number 64 against Sukunle. But going back to what I said, the Rams defense definitely needs to tighten up. Because if they cannot tighten up, then it's going to be really hard for them to win against their rival. There's about 5 minutes left of the 3rd quarter. Kungologo will face pressure, and he will throw the ball away. So it'll be a 3rd and 11 situation for the Lions. And right now they're in a situation where they need to come up with a big play that will break them off from that 3rd and 11 position they're in. Expect to run play action. Have these receivers run a mesh concept. Have your running back run a drag route. Because right now a perfect time for the Lions to come up with something creative. And it'll be an incomplete pass attended to number 3 for the Lions, Nicholas Johnson. And Haven Living with the coverage against Johnson. And so now they're in the 4th and 11 situation. They're going to go for it. It's just really gutsy. Well, not really gutsy because they can't really kick a. They can't really kick a 40-yard field goal, 40-something yard field goal, all the way from there, unless you're an NFL kicker like a Justin Tucker. So now the Lions will call their first timeout of the second half. And so we will be back after a little bit, after our break. This is Vype Live. Welcome back to the broadcast. This is Matthew Wakama, your play-by-play commentator. You are watching Vype Live on YouTube. And this matchup is between the heated rivalry, the SWAT rivalry, per se, between the Elsik Rams and the Mighty Lions of Taylor. And an almost pick. And an incomplete pass by Kanogo attended to number 14, Dayton Page. And that will be a turnover on downs. And so the Rams will get the ball back. A great defensive possession. Finally a stop in this first half. So far, this second half. And even for the whole game, they've been struggling on defense in the first half, but now going into in this second half, it's been a different story. They are now getting stops on defense, and so almost pick intended to number 10, Christopher Dismuke. And so Ontario Washington will lead this offense in the 2nd and 10 situation after his miscompletion, that last play. And so 2nd and 10. And he'll be a quarterback keeper on the 40-yard line, 50-yard line. He will away multiple defenders. And it is more than enough for the first down conversion. My goodness, he just blazed through multiple line defenders, and he will slide out of bounds. But even then, his running play has done more damage against this Lions run defense, and now they have converted another first down conversion. Ontario, Washington, excuse me, has been on fire. And so an incomplete pass attended to number 4, Jaden Thompson. And so it'll be a 2nd and 10 situation. Now, as I talk about a different story about this Rams offense and defense, let's talk about the story between this Lions defense. They've been complete opposite. And oh my goodness, what a play by number 9 for the Taylor Lions. Michael Veneye with the pick. The first pick of this game. And that will get the ball back for the Lions to potentially extend their lead. Oh my goodness. What a play by Veneye. Getting a top of the receiver and making that gusty play. And that will get the ball back for Taylor. And so it'll be a 1st and 10 situation. 45 on the ball on the 45-yard line. And Emiri Sukunle will get multiple yards on that carry, but it's short. So it's a 2nd and 5 situation. Sukunle got 5 yards on that carry. So Nick Kongolo will hand it off to Shukunle, and he will be taken down by number 3 for the Lions. Excuse me, the Rams. Coy Reed with the tackle against Shukunle. As you can hear, the Rams marching band is now turning up, boosting the morale for the fans and, most importantly, their football team. And so now it will be a 3rd and 2 situation. Hopefully the Rams can get another stop. And he will be taken down by Maurice Smith. What a play! And now they will force a 4th and 1 situation. Hopefully, this is the big moment for this Rams defense, because now if they can get a stop on this 4th and 1 situation, and now they're in a pretty good, decent field position to extend, to cut off their deficit. Because now with 2 more scores, with extra field goals, and oh my goodness, Hamir Sukunle with the big first down conversion. Oh my goodness. And now they're almost in the red zone. The Lions. Hamir Sukunle with 3 rushing touchdowns. He has over 100 rushing yards. And then add the reception that he had in that first half, he probably has over 200 yards of all-purpose yards. And so Sukunle will jump over his defender. Oh my goodness! What an athlete! And this is the same hurdle that he did when I was broadcasting for NFHS last year. And he done it again. And I think that he got called for taunting. And that's a really, really daunting penalty to have, especially in this game. Even though he was decided for that hurdle play that he had earlier, but at the same time, you just have to, keep your composure. And so now it'll be a first and 23 situation, a really long yardage from the first down conversion. And so Nick Kalongo will snap. And he will miss his target. He almost threw a pick to 3 Rams defenders. The ball attended to number 14 for the Rams. Dayton Page will be the intended receiver. And so now it would be a second and 23 situation for the Rams. Excuse me, the Lions. And Sukule will be stopped by number 8 for the Rams, Haven Living, who has been a nightmare so far for this Rams defense. He has made multiple great plays, especially his pass deflection, defended against Nicholas Johnson, who has been the Lions' best receiver. And so Nick Kalongo will get multiple yards on that carry. Is he in for the first down conversion? And it is short. So now it's a turnover in downs. Turnover on downs. And now the Rams will get the ball back. And so now the Rams will get another opportunity to cut their deficit down. And so they'll give it to Dismuke. And an incredible play. Number 10 for the Taylor Lions, Enyika Noawazi with the tackle for loss. And now the Rams will face a 2nd and 16 situation after that tackle for loss. And so it's a empty formation, and he will complete the pass to Jaden Thompson, but coaches are looking for a face mask, and that will be the end of the third quarter. 27 Lions, Mighty Rams 14. And so now is almost a two-score game. We'll be back from the break. This is Vype Live. Welcome back to the broadcast. This is Matthew Wakama, your play-by-play commentator, and you are watching Vype Live on YouTube TV. And he'll be sacked by multiple Rams defenders, and now the Lions will force a fourth down situation, potentially a 3-and-out, and so the Rams will bring in the punt team. And so what a play, a sack by number 55 for the Taylor the Taylor Lions. Ozombini Fekbanella with the sack, and he got multiple tackles throughout this game, including a sack. So now he helped force a 3-and-out. And now the Lions will get the ball back, and Johnson will be taken down by Maurice Smith. And so the Lions have really good field position, and we have an injured player on the field. And so we'll take a short timeout. Welcome back to the broadcast. This is Matthew Wakama, your play-by-play commentator, for this broadcast between the matchup of the Rams versus the Taylor Lions. One of the more heated rivalries here in this Houston area. And so now the Lions will get the ball back, and they look to extend their lead, and so they'll give it to Shukunle, and he'll be taken down by number 64 for the Lions. He got a couple of tackles throughout this second half. And so now Shukunle got a couple of yards on that carry, but it's not enough for the first down, so it's a 2nd and 4 situation. He got 6 yards on that carry. So it looks it's going to be a bunch formation, a bunch pistol formation. And he'll give it to Shukule, and he'll run over the top, and he'll be on the 10-yard line, and he'll make it in for the touchdown to extend the lead, but it's looking like it's going to be taken back. One of the offensive linemen has hold it. Yeah, it is going to be taken back. And so number 59, Xavier Hernandez with a costly holding penalty. And now it'll be a repeated second, but now 14. So, second and 14 for the Lions. Hopefully they can try to use something up their sleeve as far as the passing game rather than relying solely on Sekunle. So Sekunle will break off multiple tacklers, and he is gone to the end zone. Touchdown! Hamir Sekunle with his 4th touchdown, and that will extend their lead by by 19 points. Yep, 19 points. And potentially 20 points if they can complete the extra point play. But my goodness, Hamir Sekunle, he has been on a tear throughout this game. And so the extra point play will be good. Hamir Sekunle with a 60-yard rushing touchdown. After that costly penalty, he will just continue to make plays against this Rams defense. My goodness, he is going to be special. And I think this probably be the game where he will actually get D1 looks. But we'll go on a short break. This is Vype Live. And we are back on this broadcast. And it'll kick it off. Eduardo Golino will get the ball off to Dismuk for the Rams. And he'll be taken down by Danilo Penso. And so now it would be a 1st and 10 situation for the Rams. Ball on their 22. And so now this is 1st and 10 for the Rams. Ontario Washington will step back, and he'll face pressure, and he'll elude multiple defenders, and he'll be taken down by Danilo Penso with another touchdown. But my goodness, he just eluded multiple defenders at once. And so, but even then, it's still not enough for the first down. Ontario Washington only got 3 yards on that run after facing pressure. And so now it'll be A 2nd and 7 situation for the Rams. You know, the Lions have been extremely good on getting after it through pressure. And now there's another false start by the Rams. This is a bad game to remember, especially for all the seniors for the Rams. They definitely do not want to remember the amount of penalties they committed against their rival, and that ultimately costed them the game. And so now it would be a 2nd and 12 situation for the Rams. Washington, he'll complete. Nope, there's one of his receivers, the intended receiver on that play. Christopher Dismuke will drop the pass intended to him, and so they'll sub in number 20 for the Rams. And so it'll be a 3rd and 12 situation for the Rams. Expect a big play. And Washington will throw it all out of bounds. He will overthrow his intended receiver to number 15. And so now they'll bring in the punt team. And so another 3-and-out for the Rams. And so the punt returner, Nicholas Johnson, the punter, Wilmar Martinez, will be the punter for the Rams. And a really poor punt. And so the ball would be placed on the 40-yard line for the Rams. No, excuse me. On the 35-yard line. And so there's 8 minutes left of the 4th quarter. And so it's been a back and forth for both teams. The only difference is that Himir Sukunle, who's been the player of the game, have 4 rushing touchdowns along with a 70-yard reception. And he'll be taken down by he would just get mauled by a couple of defensive tackles for the Rams. Both number 64 and number 99 for the Rams. Braylon Ross with the tackle. And so it'll be a no gain for the Lions. So it's 2nd and 10. Second and 10 for the Lions. And Shukunle will be taken down by multiple defenders once again. A no gain. And so a great a really great stop on the second down situation, especially against the best player throughout the whole field, and Hamir Sekunle. And so it'll be a 3rd and 13 situation for the Lions. So no, and he will get it to his receiver, Dayton Page, with the catch. Nick Colongo with a multiple yard completion. A 25-yard gain to make it a more than enough first down conversion. And he'll give it to Hamir Sekunle, and he'll be taken down by number 64 for the Rams. He has been really good for the Rams. He got multiple stops. So it'll be a no gain for the Lions. So it's 2nd and 10. And so they'll be in their pistol. A really bad snap. And so Nick Colongo will have to throw the ball away. And he will almost get to his receiver. And number 12, Jaden Barber. You just have to really secure the catch. It would have been a really crazy play after a really bad snap by the center. And so luckily they did not have to take a multiple loss gain. And so now it is 3rd and 10 for the Lions. And Kanogo, and one of his receivers will not complete the pass intended to Barber again. Oh, excuse me, Page. Number 14, Dayton Page. And so it'll be another 3 and out for the Lions. They'll bring in the punt team. And so Edward Gallardo will be the punter / kicker. Meanwhile, for the Rams, Courtney Thompson will be the punt returner. And it'll be a kick out of bounds. And so the Rams will have another opportunity to score, but it seems like it's far out of reach because there's about 5 minutes left of the game. And so far the Lions defense has been locked down, especially with all the receivers, and they just can't really get it going on the running game for multiple running backs. And so far, Ontario Washington will have to be the ball keeper for the whole time. So there must be a penalty that will drive them back multiple yards. And so now they're placed on the 5-yard line. And with their so the refs will make an adjustment and is actually placed on the 10-yard line. All All right, so with first and 10 for the Rams, Washington will be, he will underthrow his pass attended to number 10, Christopher Dismuke. So it'll be a 2nd and 5 situation for the Rams. There's about 4 minutes left to be played. And it'll be another false start penalty by. They have about 10 or more penalties so far this game. So it's really not. It's something for, especially for some of the seniors in the roster, to not want to remember this multiple penalty game. And so Washington would be the quarterback keeper. And he'll be taken down. Nope, no, he'll break off his tackle against number 17 of the Lions. And he'll take out of bounds. And there's multiple bickering from both teams. Expect that from two heated neighborhood schools. And so the Rams will actually complete the first down conversion by Ontario, Washington. And he'll be taken down by number 1, Christopher Ferreros with that tackle for loss. It gives number 20. And so now it'll be a 2nd and 14 for the Rams. They have shown some dominant plays so far this game. And so Jaden Thompson will get a couple of yards on that completed pass to Ontario, Washington. And so it'll just let the clock run down. Hopefully they can score to cut the deficit down to make it not as bad as it is now. So it'll be a 3rd and 5 situation for the Rams. And so he will give it to number 20. He'll break off a tackle by a Lion defender. And he got a couple of yards on that carry. It must be more than enough for the first down conversion. And it is. Yeah, they're moving the sticks. So it is a first down conversion. And so they're trying to play hurry up offense. And so they're going closer to the 2-minute warning. And so Washington will overthrow his man, Jaden Thompson. And so it'll be a 2nd and 10 situation for the Lions. The Rams. And so Washington will drop back. and he will face pressure, and he will pass it to Thompson, but he will again drop another pass. And so now it'll be a 3rd and 10 situation, and the clock is going closer to the 2-minute warning. And so it'll be a 3rd and 10 situation for the Rams. And he'll give it to number 10. And another underthrow by Washington. And now it's looking like they're going to bring in the punt team. And they are. This is such a really bad game to finish your football career, especially you're a senior for Elsik High School. Especially losing to your rival in a pretty big margin now. And so the Lions will call a fair catch. You can see Caden Mendenhall. And so you can see over there, hopefully Caden Mendenhall would have made a big difference for this Rams offense. But unfortunately, his injury was too severe for him to not be available to play, especially for this Rams offense. Hopefully, he would sign off on his high school football career here with a dominant performance of his own. And so a really bad snap by the Lions. And so it would be a 2nd and 16 for the Lions. Ball snap. He'll give it to, and he'll get to multiple defenders. Who's this? Christopher Ferreros with a couple-yard gain. So now it'll be a 3rd and 15 situation for the Lions. Hopefully they can convert it on a big play. Or not. They're looking to do a kneel down as there's 22 seconds left of the game. And so they'll walk off the victory best victory for this Lions team. They will finish their season with a 4-6 record. Meanwhile, the Rams will finish their season with a 3-7 record, and hopefully both teams can figure out what to do with each kid during this offseason and regroup from there. And so it's been a really dominant last game for the Taylor Lions. They have been struggling for the whole season, but now with the win they have on their record to finish off the season, it is a really great send off for the seniors for this Taylor Lions team. And now the seniors for the roster, they can now actually remember this game and say, yes, we finally beat our rival, and now they can now actually remember this for a real long time, especially once they get into adulthood and then onwards. As for the Rams, this is something that they will forget, and they really enjoy their time playing football. You know, some will probably play D1, others will probably go on to great and better things, especially once they go into college. And so a great dominant performance by the Taylor Lions. They'll finish the game with 34 points. Meanwhile, the Rams will finish with 14 points. And so we will sign off on this broadcast. We'd like to thank you for watching this heated rivalry. Unfortunately, it did not gone to the prediction that I posted. So either way, a great game by both teams. So we're signing off this broadcast. This is Matthew Wakama, your play-by-play commentator, along with your cameraman, Brian. And we will see you next time. Have a good night.